All right, so we have Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde in process right now. Friday, we have a full moon. Also, Happy New Year to the people who think it's the new year. We all know, if you see my other post, the new year actually starts in April. This year, especially with the year beginning in a retrograde, it's not the year to go full tilt into anything. So a retro stands for revisiting, redesigning, redefining, re-implementing, recuperating from 2022. And this year, that's going to look like a lot more self-care than ever before. It's going to look like cleaning up your tech. So one of the things that you want to do is do an energetic cleanup of all of your tech, your social media. Go through and clean out the people that you're following that you don't want to follow anymore. Clear out people that you should have blocked that you haven't blocked. Feel free to block them. And those of you who aren't a fan of blocking people, ask yourself why. Why do you feel like people should have access to your energy in that manner? You don't have to hate someone to block them. But imagine that the block is an energetic boundary that you're setting so that you can keep your energy with you. Why are you giving away all that free energy? What is it in you that is causing you to feel like you need to leave a door open to someone that has proven to you time and time again that they don't have your interest in mind? The other thing about that is stop tolerating shit from people multiple times. If someone does something horrible to you or they just do something that doesn't jive with what you feel is good for you, you can block them then too. Like, you ain't got to waste your time being like, oh, let me give them a second, a third, a fourth chance. Like, people will show you who they are the first time. Believe them. And then hit the block button so that in case you get confused or you get curious or you feel ridiculous about something or you be like, well, don't do it. Just block the motherfucker so they're no longer in your presence. And you don't have to worry about that. And you can maintain your own energy. Right? So this retrograde is about making sure that you are paying attention to what you're going to put out into the universe this year, and that you're being super intentional in all of your interactions. All of them. Whether it's an interaction with yourself or others. And definitely stop entertaining people who are not in alignment with what you want in your life. Because otherwise you're going to see a lot of weird shit happening to you. The other thing is mold illness. Mold illness is something that is very specific to each individual. And it's really irritating to have to try to explain it to people. And it's a very tiresome process. So if you encounter someone who has mold illness, ask them if they want to even talk to you about the situation. Because oftentimes, if you are not versed in it, you're really just triggering someone who's going through a bunch of shit already. Right? Like, all the time, I say stuff about what's going on with my mold illness, and then people will give me a bunch of suggestions that don't help me at all. And I'm already aware of 90% of the things that you're about to tell me. So it's just not helpful. And there are very few doctors who do understand this illness. So unless A, you've been through it, or B, you're the doctor who can fix it, just leave people alone. It's already taxing enough as it is. Oftentimes you're going to have to cook a lot of your foods from scratch. And if you're not a person who cooks, it's a nightmare. Like, I have a bunch of chef friends because they cook and I don't. As a person who doesn't cook, this shit it sucks for me. Like, I have limited food options and I have limited ways to cook them. And I don't have a lot of energy to cook them the way that I should. Right? And then the other thing is, for people with mold illness, the things that a regular person worries about in terms of their diet, like, oh, too much starches, too much fats, too much sugars, that shit doesn't apply to us. Mostly because we have a limited diet. So if you have mold illness and you have a limited diet, eat what the fuck you can eat. Don't worry about fat, sugar, none of that dumb shit, because none of that is relevant to you right now. Your body is going through an illness. Eat what you can eat. I've been eating French fries out of the air fryer for fucking 6 weeks. And someone was like, aren't you worried about the fat? No, I'm not. It's the least of my worries. Fat, I don't care about fat content. I don't care about sugar content. I just care about whether or not I have a reaction to this food. If I don't have a reaction to this food, then I'm eating it. If I have a reaction, I'm not eating it. That's it. That's the kind of life that I have to live. There's no joy in my meals. There's no joy in the foods that I eat, unless I go to Pianta in Rhode Island, which is my favorite place to eat food. And I miss them. So just a little PSA for people who are dealing with mold illness and for the people who interact with them. Like, your suggestions about sugar and fat and none of that shit makes a fucking difference. I have a very short list of foods that I can eat. I'm fucking eating whatever I want on that list, no matter how many times a day, no matter what my cholesterol looks like. I don't give a fuck about that. All of that can be fixed and rebalanced once I get out of the mold illness situation. But currently, irrelevant. So that's my Mercury retrograde mold illness. You can call this a mini podcast. And I'll be posting this on my Anchor page and on TikTok and whatever the fuck. All right. Y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for stopping by.